Given the FII numbers, Ajay Bodke of Prabhudas Leeladhar and Amit Gupta of ICICI Direct join in with their top trading tips for the day. Gentlemen, morning to both of you. Ajay, I'm going to start with you first. Before I come to the overall markets, we've got a lot of earnings that came out over the weekend. Reliance tops that list. How would you assess the numbers and what would your reaction be to the stock today?
I think the numbers were slightly below market expectations. And in a scenario of oil prices continuing to remain under pressure in the medium term, I think there are, we believe, better opportunities to invest. And hence, I think, we would stay away from investing in Reliance in the short term.
Okay. Hi, morning, Ajay. What about generally the oil marketing companies itself? It looks now very clear that, falls in fuel prices are going to be only marginally passed on to the consumer and will largely be taken by the government. We are given to understand by our correspondent this morning that a customs duty will be imposed on crude. It was brought to nil in 2011. Again, this will eat into the margins of oil marketing companies. Is the benefits of OMCs over, or would you still buy them?
I think I would be cautious before committing any further positions in OMCs. Because as you rightly said, I think, the fall in oil prices essentially has been used by the government essentially to mop up its own kitty in view of the large shortfall in both excise and customs duty collections that the government has from year to date. And hence, I think, and maybe the government also is building up a cushion. So in case I think, the oil prices were to spike up, then I think the blow to the consumers is being softened. So I think I would be cautious before committing myself to buying oil companies.
The other earnings, the stock that delivered a good set of numbers was Wipro. In fact, better than TCS and Infosys if you look at the dollar revenue growth, constant currency growth. Would you buy that stock now?
Yeah. I think the outlook the company trotted out was better than what market was expecting. But our own in-house preference continues to remain with Infosys and Tech Mahindra in large cap space. And I would like to point out to the statement that certain media was carrying of Dr. Sikka that in 18 to 30 months from now, I think Infosys' revenue growth should be better than the industry growth. So I think our analyst tends to agree there. And we believe that although the Infosys has maintained its guidance, the margins that the company has put out for the last quarter have been a shade better than market expectations. So our preference clearly remains with Infosys and Tech Mahindra in the large cap space and Hexaware and KPIT in the mid cap space in IT.
All right. Ajay, one more stock to you before we get to Amit as well. MMFSL, what were your takeaways for MMFSL itself and for the finance companies in general?
Yeah, I think the results have been a tad disappointing, especially on the asset quality front. Our analyst believes that I think, there is still some time to go, maybe a quarter or two, before one should start looking at the script. So I think we would continue to stay away from the script in the short term. In the financial sector in general, I think, I believe that HDFC Bank, which has been a gross underperformer over last year because of FI overhang, over the next 12 months, I think among the large cap names, I think HDFC Bank should form part of a portfolio for simple reason that there is a tremendous narrowing of the valuations between HDFC Bank and the other large private sector banks like Axis Bank and ICICI Bank. Just to give an example, I think in HDFC Banks, we are expecting a bottom line growth of 22% in FY16 and 24% in FY17, and it's trading at 2.7 times price to adjusted book FY17. Whereas a bank like ICICI Bank having an earning growth of 19% in current year and 18% in, when I say current year, FY16, and 17.7% in FY18 is trading at 2.5 times. So I think that narrowing of premium, market will take stock at some point in time, and then suddenly there'll be a flare up in that premium. And we believe that HDFC Bank is moving towards that spot now, and one should look at HDFC Bank in the medium perspective. The other banks we like is ICICI Bank we like in private sector space. In the public sector banking space, I think one can look at having allocations in three categories. The largest allocation could go to a bank like an SBI or BOB, which are the strongest in the pack, and where we believe the advantage would be very large, as in when the asset quality upturn happens a quarter or two from now. Smaller allocations could go to a bank like Union Bank or BOI, which are trading at a steep discount as compared to SBI and BOB, but where the risks also concomitantly are slightly higher. And a very small allocation could go to a bank like a PNB or some other smaller banks. So that's the way I would look at the construct of a portfolio in the medium term.
All right. Thanks for that very comprehensive reply, Ajay. We have more questions for you. Amit, there are questions for you as well, but let's take a break because we're getting closer to the pre-opening rate.
Hi, we have just a minute before the pre-opening rate, so let's go across.
Enough. And in the meanwhile, the markets have opened. It's 1/3% higher for the Sensex, so watch that figure. That moves with a more surer step. The Nifty has been all over the place. At one point in time, 0.8 higher, now about 0.5% higher. The rupee is opened sharply higher. It's 61.64 compared to the previous close of 61.86, so dollar that much cheaper. 1/3% cheaper, gap down opening for the dollar, and that again reflects that very strong sentiment towards FII flows. We've had a very good week of flows, 3 or 4 days of over 1,000 crore in terms of flows, and now with, as Sonia has been pointing out, a potential ECB quantitative easing on the cards, even sentiment will turn in favor of perhaps a little more liquidity being available, and therefore in favor of rupee strength. Let's wait and see how things pan out. The dollar gets even weaker as we speak. It's almost getting to a 0.5% cut on the dollar rupee. Well, we'll just get you the details of stock openings. At the moment, they are a bit random, so we'll leave it at that. Well, Ajay, besides the financials, what else is attracting you in the market? Today, we've got the big FMCG boy, Hindustan Unilever, announcing numbers. That entire pack has just run away. How would you approach the space?
I think Levers has been, I believe, one of the best outperformers in the Nifty in the last 1 month. It must have gone up upwards of 20%. And expectation is of around 10.8 billion rupees of profits for the last quarter to be announced today. Our preference firmly remains with the other FMCG biggie, ITC, which again was an underperformer for last financial year. But what we believe is that the company today is trading at valuations cheaper than some of the mid-cap companies in the FMCG space. It is available today at 20.9 times FY17 earnings, with an expected revenue growth of 16.2% in FY16, 15% in FY17. And we are penciling in an earnings growth of around 19% in FY16, followed by around 17 to 18% in FY16, with an extremely strong ROEs of around 38%, both in FY16 expected and FY17. The stock, we believe, does not deserve to trade at a discount to some of the mid-cap FMCG names. And there is an understandable overhang of what would the FM do insofar as excise duties increase is concerned. But even if we were to discount a steep increase in excise duties, I think the valuation simply does not warrant such sort of the current price. And hence, from a 12-month perspective, I think along with HDFC Bank in the large cap space, I would actually advocate looking at ITC, and we believe it could be an outperformer for a 1 year period. We continue to remain positive on Colgate-Palmolive and Britannia, because in Britannia's case, a large chunk of its raw materials, be it palm oil, sugar, wheat, are down steeply on a YOY basis. Analyst believes that there is still a lot of value in the margin expansion story continues in Britannia. Value-added product launches continue in Britannia. Britannia offers a good entry point on dips, and Colgate-Palmolive also continues to be among our favorite buys in FMCG space.
All right, so those are a couple of buys. In pre-opening, a couple of stocks are reacting to numbers. Reliance is under pressure after the earnings were lower than street estimates, while Wipro, on the flip side, is seeing a handsome gain of almost 5.5% in pre-opening after the numbers were far better than street estimates. But Amit, the pocket that did the best last week was the cement space. You have a buy on Grasim this morning?
See, I bought Grasim because you see, this is the holding company of Ultratech Cement, and after 2 or 3 months of scenario, Ultratech Cement has moved up. It has made a new high. Now, otherwise, previously we were seeing only ACC and Ambuja were performing in a range, and Ultratech was just hovering around 25 kind of levels, 2500 kind of levels. But I think Grasim now may be the mover. In the last session, there was some profit booking, but I think we should utilize that profit booking to go long. If you look at the open interest positions in it, now it has been moving up, so I think the people are going creating long positions in it, and the leverage is still not high, so it is possible that the stock may make the life highs in the coming days. And one important feature actually that goes behind Grasim and that shows strength in the stock is when Nifty was falling recently from 83 in the last leg of fall from 8300 to 7950, so that time it had already made a bottom around 3400. It didn't fall further from there, so that was the first sign of strength, and it is building up on that strength now. So hardly it is 250 points away from that point. So I think eventually it is going to make a new high. So let us form the long positions now, and the yesterday's last session's profit booking is a good invite to that.
All right, so that's the word coming in on Grasim. Just one more stock trade, if you can give us a buy on Bata. That's something that Sudarshan has been positive on for a while as well. What would your targets be there?
See, previously I had given on this channel this stock around 1300 levels because I saw the clear trend of short covering panning out after a long consolidation, and I admire the fact that this stock has been consolidating at the life highs and not at the subdued levels, and that is where the shorts, whosoever is going short in the stock is always vulnerable, and that leads to the short covering in it, and that has already panned out. We saw 100 125 points of move in it already. But what I am observing is when last time it was trading around 1350 1400, the leverage right now is pretty lower. It is already 30-35% lower than those levels. So in terms of the excessive leverage, there is no problem. The short covering trend which is already seen, there may be some more coming in the days to come. So I think 1550 levels one should keep a target, and on decline it's a buy for me. And another thing positive may be the GST which is going to come out, so it may be a good candidate to be there for in one's portfolio looking at that particular perspective.
Okay. You have a pair strategy on long M&M and short T. Just take us through that yet again, and as well any strategy on Bank Nifty.
See, M&M, by M&M short Nifty I have taken because M&M has already seen some kind of short covering trend. It was hitting 1220 kind of levels number of times. In fact, from the month of October it was doing like that. But when the Nifty fell almost 7% during this period in the month of December, we saw again it was hitting 1220 only and was not breaching that level. So that has led to the short covering in the last two sessions, and I think it has been a good stock. The only fact was it was underperforming. The sales figures were not coming good. But somehow the price is absorbing that kind of low sales figures, and that is why it has already formed, I think, the bottom around 1220 now. So it is on the way up, and it is possible it can move towards 1400 or beyond kind of levels also. It has that kind of potential because the other peers have performed. If you look at Tata Motors or Maruti, they have performed, but I think there is a lot of potential in it which can come up actually over the period. So if Nifty is moving up, because we expect Nifty to move towards 8800 kind of levels, so if Nifty is moving up, it will give you better return because a lot of shorts are there, and the short covering will give it higher return than Nifty in the coming days.
Ajay, there are a bunch of mid-cap companies that came with numbers. Symphony, Oberoi Realty look optically very good. I mean, MMFSL, of course, we discussed. Would you want to take us through any mid-cap guys you might latch on to now?
Yeah. In the medium term, we are positive on a couple of mid-caps. I did mention Hexaware and KPIT on the mid-cap IT space. In the capital goods space, we are positive in the medium term in Cummins, where we are expecting around a strong earnings growth of around 34% in the FY16, that is next financial year, and 28% earnings growth in the next financial year. Company has a very strong ROE of around 30%. The other in the road sector, we are very positive because we are given to believe that large orders will be tendered by NHAI in the run-up to before the end of the current financial year, And one of the bigger beneficiaries of this, we believe, will be Ashoka Buildcon. And there, I think we are expecting a revenue growth of 30% in FY16, followed by around 17% in FY17. In the cement space, our analyst continues to be positive on JK Lakshmi Cement. He has a medium-term price target of 468 rupees in JK Lakshmi, basically leveraging on a large build-up in volumes, capacity addition that's happening in the current financial year and next financial year. I think I already discussed Britannia Industries in the mid-caps, in the FMCG space. Motherson Sumi and Bharat Forge in the auto ancillary space, we continue to like. So that's sort of the stocks that we are positive on in the mid-cap space.
And your disclosures, Ajay?
Yeah, I do not hold any share that I've discussed on the program, but PL's clients could having a position in some of these stocks.
Fair enough. Amit Gupta and Ajay Bodke, thank you very much for joining us and taking us through your trading and your investment strategy. The all-time intraday highs are concerned. That's